Hi, my name's Adam McKenzie and I'm the creator of StrongNsexy. I'm also lucky enough to call myself a transformation expert to women and people all around the world, changing not only their bodies, but their minds and their lives. And again, what I want to do is just help you with a few questions that I get from people all the time. One of the things that I can't stand to hear from somebody, only because I believe everybody can change, is fat loss is impossible for me. And the amount of times that I've had women and people come to me from lots of different training backgrounds, from lots of other different facilities, from lots of other different diet and food plans and recommendations and everything else, and still they feel like weight loss or fat loss is impossible for me. And I want to break that down for you just quickly, let you know that if you are in that boat and you're feeling like you can't lose fat, or you want to know how to lose more fat, then here are some great tips for you, okay? And to start with here, how do you know? All right, often it's the first question I ever ask anyone is, how do you know that you can't lose fat? Are you measuring it? Or are you just jumping on the scales? Because if you're just jumping on the scales, you're only seeing one small part of the entire picture. How do you know what you weigh in kilos of body fat compared to kilos of lean mass? How do you know what your overall body fat percentage is? If your scales tell you body fat percentage, they're lying to you, all right? Because they don't know. If you haven't done any measurements and you haven't calculated based on your measurements what your body fat is, you don't know what your body fat percentage is. Your scale is just working it out based on your BMI. And body mass index was generated, 1930, and it's no longer relevant because you need to be aware that muscle, yes, it doesn't weigh more than fat, but it takes up less room for the same weight. So be aware of that. And the whole reason why I say is how do you know is if you're not tracking that and you're just going based on how you feel as a whole, you're always going to feel worse than you are. It's always hard to take the emotion out of it and have a look at the practical aspect, or look at the numbers versus how you're feeling. So if you don't know and you're not tracking it, then you're basing it on how you feel or how you think you look in the mirror, or that bit that's hanging out still that was hanging out, or maybe there's more hanging out now than was hanging out last time, okay? All I want to say to you is that when it comes to losing fat, like anything, let's make it practical and make sure we're measuring it properly. And if you're not sure how to measure it properly, there's lots of different systems out there. And part of our Strong and Sexy program is we give you a system designed to measure it and track and give you nice visual aspects, breaking down measurements, kilos and body fat percentage, and an overall look at how you're progressing. The other thing here of why I often find that people don't lose fat, or they think that they can't lose fat, is because of the intensity of their workouts, because they don't keep themselves accountable to any sort of system or any sort of program. It's all sort of willy-nilly or guessing, or it's a bit here and a bit there. Nothing structured. There's no plan in place for fat loss. There's exercise for sure, and there's different eating plans and different diets, but there's no plan. Okay, and one of the things that I give all of my Strong and Sexy women as part of our program, and a lot of clients I work with, is a ranking system. Okay, and the way that the ranking system works, it's a self-accountability system. It's a self-ranking system. It's not compared to everyone else. I don't care where anybody else ranks in your life. All I care about is how you rank, and that's all I want you to care about. So the way that the ranking system works is you're going to give yourself a ranking between 1 to 10. And it might sound simple, but if you do this on a consistent basis and you assess how you're going and you approach it with a particular rank in mind and target and goal, your life will change, and so will the amount of fat that you lose and weight, okay? And what I want you to think about is 10 is my best, 1 is my worst. 1, I might as well just stay seated in the seat and just tell everyone about how much fat I want to lose, because I'm not really going to do anything to change it. 10, I'm bringing it. I'm a machine. I'm stepping up. It's game time, baby. Let's go. And you're approaching it with everything that you've got to get the most out of it. And if you do that and you rank 10 out of 10, regardless of what that 10 is, because that's what you have to realize is what your 10 is now won't be your 10 once you achieve it. Once you reach that 10, you're going to be able to keep pushing and pushing, because you're going to realize, you're going to have the self-awareness of what you've been able to achieve now, and you're gonna have a new belief system, and oh my goodness, I can't believe this is what I can do. Now what's the next goal? And what's my next 10? And I love watching that transformation, because not only is it great from a self-belief point of view, but watching the results when that happens, it's game-changing. So start employing that into your training and into your life, with your food, with your health, with how you're talking about yourself, with things that you say you're going to do. Commit to them at a level 10. The other one that I always get here, and this is a tricky one because nowadays with hormones, the types of foods, stress, anxiety, lifestyle, lack of sun, everything else, there are a lot more thyroid issues out there now than there ever were before, okay? And I'm in contact with a lot of the top nutritionists and naturopaths, and often they say to me now that, every single month they see more and more patients and more people coming in thinking that they have thyroid issues because they read it somewhere, they heard it somewhere, they went to the doctor. The doctor's now going to do a test, they're going to get them on thermoxin or whatever it is, and now they're going to end up being on medication for the rest of their life to help them increase their metabolism. Which is sad. Yes, thyroid can be a factor and it's worth getting it tested for sure. Can you improve it without medication? Yes, you can. Okay, and no, I'm not a doctor, but have I seen it many times? Yes. Is it possible? Yes. Okay, you can increase your metabolism, which is the rate that you burn body fat, very easily through lots of different ways. And that's what we teach in our Strong and Sexy program. And that's what I want you to start believing, is there's ways to increase your metabolism. And some of my other free videos here, I'm going to teach you how to do that. But right now, track what you're doing. Start ranking yourself and start believing that you can increase your metabolism without necessarily going on thyroid medication. And if you haven't got your thyroid checked, go get it checked, because if you don't know, you're guessing. So it's always worth finding out in the beginning, and then we can make a plan to move forward. So go forward with that. Have a great day and charge into your life with passion and determination to achieve everything you want.